we go. Like I say, shouts out to all the brothers and sisters out there in social media land. This is indeed a great day to be alive. This is a day that the Most High Heavenly Father have made. We should rejoice and be glad in it. We're going to pick our videos back up on this morning, and we got some advertising that we want to do because we want our brothers to start raising up. And when we start talking about raising up, we want our brothers to start raising up into entrepreneurship. Understand that the Most High have given you something valuable. He have given you a great gift that has the capacity to produce a living for you and to be also a blessing to your brothers and sisters. And so we want to, while we are getting these things organized, getting ourselves in order, we're going to give some of the brothers and sisters an opportunity to come into the video. So I'm going to play an intro song while we take care of that. We'll play an intro song while we take care of that. And, yeah, and then we'll take off running. This is indeed a great day to be alive. Physically and spiritually, we shot and kill them all with a King James AT. The only thing it does is make them suckers feel that they gon' come back. So my spirit better be feel like my dog black. Lieutenant keep the deal, spiritual patrol. So black, y'all know it, y'all got the soul locked down. Pep got his homies, everybody tell the truth. Temptation got the best, and time y'all get weak. Don't help my step in the chest like it's a woke trying to cope with every day situations. Without the father, many faces catching cases. Many in the projects, themselves increase on the basis get they checks. And all the bus need freedom, like becoming more of a war. Title of this track is called Life is Becoming More of a Woe. It's been a second, Lord, it's getting hectic. Life becoming more of a war. It's been a second, Lord, it's getting hectic. Back, let me sound. Devil's busting at me, thank God I'm still around. Several took me down, but I ain't dead yet. I'm still letting loose rounds, leaving demons wet. By the power of Jesus, I can't wait until we free. It's been in the woke since birth, and I'm gonna fight until my hurts. The shadows getting worse, stuck right down the curve. Let everything that have breath praise ye the Lord. Say what he wants to tell you to baby. And let it know when he dies, gonna judge for the thing you say. If it be Christ, baby, girl, I hear me the way. Make sure you pray. When he come back, he won't stay. I'll be cooked up, sick to the new don't gang. And even though we all living in war, giving your life to crash and anger slow. I send no home. Life becoming more of a war. Each minute second. Lord, it's getting hectic. Life becoming more of a woe. Each minute second. Lord, it's getting hectic. If I wouldn't have had Jesus and a plan for my life, I'm a dread, the leader, play wild with the die, land in the casket, black tugs, roll good. Hoping Jesus say, come in, it's all good. If I had all the cash and I had all the business. Men everywhere should be lifting up holy hands and praising the Most High. This is indeed a great day to be alive. This is the day that the Most High Heavenly Father have made. We should rejoice and be glad in it. So here they go. It's the same old every day. Wishing the pain go far away. When they come together, face the facts like flat tooting. Dread tried to do me, thank God it didn't slow me. If I didn't have a purpose, if I would love with a blue. Time life make me nervous, not knowing what to expect. What I had, but you run up on me with a tech. Pull it out, yeah. It ain't time for me to go, cause I'm a soldier, baby. Life becoming more of a woe. Like I told you, baby, life becoming more of a woe. Life becoming more of a war. Each millisecond. Lord, it's getting hectic. Life becoming more of a war. Each millisecond. Lord, it's getting hectic. Life is becoming more of a woe. And it's getting real hectic out there. So, like I say, shouts out to all the brothers and sisters out there in social media land. Once again, this is indeed a great day to be alive. It's the day the Most High Heavenly Father has made. We should rejoice and shall be glad in it. And I want to come to, before we get started with the video, there are still some things that we want to deal with the brothers on, because we need to raise our brothers up, okay? Our brothers have enough negativity in this world. And you ain't this, and you ain't that, and you a crackhead, and you a drunk, and you a dog, and you know, our brothers hear that stuff so much to where listening to what people have to say about you can destroy you if they're not saying the right thing. So to my brothers out there, you need to understand that you are God's greatest gift to this world. Because in actuality, you are not a gift to this world. The world was a gift to us. And that's why it's going to be important in the days to come that we start seeing ourselves in the way that God sees us. When God sees us, man, if you understand the way that God sees us, man, it will blow your mind. Let me show you how God sees us before we get started as men. Let me show you. Let me show you how God sees us. And there was a question that was asked by our father, David. There was a question that was asked. And you understand that David was a shepherd boy in the field. He didn't have no status or what the world calls status. He tended the flocks and fed the animals and had to put his life on the line for bears and lions and coyotes, anything that would be coming to devour his sheep. So he didn't have a pleasant job. His brothers was military men. They had status and all of that. You know what I mean? But he ended up being brought from the background to the forefront. And that's what the Most High is looking to do to many of the brothers who have had some traumatic experiences in this life or fallen down to the point to where you don't think that you can get back up. So let me show you the question that was asked by our father David when it came to the man that he had created. He said, "What is man that you are mindful of him, and the Son of Man that you would visit him? For you have made him a little lower than the angels, and you have crowned him with glory and honor. You have made him to have dominion over the works of your hands, and you have put all things under his feet, all sheep and oxen, even the beasts of the field, the birds of the air, and the fish of the sea that pass through the paths of the sea." When you understand how God sees you, man, you got to understand how bad you really are. Okay, crackhead. What is man that God is mindful of me? Alcoholic. What is man that God is mindful of me? Grimy dude, gangbanger, murderer, thief, robber. What is man that God is so mindful of him? And see, we carrying out all of those other things because we don't understand how important we as men are to the Most High. Never mind that we don't get the credit. Never mind that nobody pats us on the back. Never mind that there's no lap for us to crawl up in. Never mind that there's no shoulder for us to begin to weep real tears on. Never mind all of those things that are not. The Most High is still mindful of us. And sometimes we have to be reminded of just how great it is that God thinks about us no matter where we at on a daily basis. He said, first off, we are just a little bit lower than angels. When you think about an angel, you think about a force to be reckoned with, something that's dynamite, something that, but man, let me tell you, brother, you are just a little bit lower than the angels that God created. He said, you have made him to have dominion over the works of your hands. When you see yourself, and when we start seeing ourselves like God sees us, look at what a great responsibility is that. That everything that God made, whether it's the trees, whether it's all the elements in nature, the animals, all the people, he said, listen, he have given us dominion over the works of his hands. That means that you might be broke right now. And you allow your brokenness to hinder you from seeing just how rich you are with the responsibility that he has given you. Dominion over the whole world. Dominion is a kingdom terminology. Dominion just comes from the word domain. To have dominion is to have domain, to have kingship and rulership. Dominion is to reign over everything in this world have been made subjected to you. Everything that God ever made, he placed it in your care, brother. And if you settle for chasing a dollar, and if you settle that down to pulling off some panties, if you will settle that down to being stuck on drugs, alcohol, if you'll settle that down to being stuck in an impoverished condition, you'll have to have your mindset redirected so that you can understand these things come as a blockade to stop me from being responsible for what's being placed in my care. And the Most High have made us as masters over his whole entire creation. And that includes also the woman that comes from within us. He has given us dominion over. I'm not concerned about what the government say about the faggots. I'm not concerned about what the government say about the women's live movement and feminist movement. I'm not concerned about none of that. Those are all things that enemies say. And listening to what people say can kill you. It don't make no difference. Even if your sisters develop that type of mindset, it has no bearing over what the Most High have placed in my care. And either you can come up under my care and come up under the umbrella of the things that the Most High created and placed in my care, or you can be found left on the outside in rebellion against the holy God that pulled you out of my loins. Come on, brothers. Come on, brothers. We got to raise up. We got to raise up. You might be broke now, but that don't mean you're going to be broke tomorrow. I dare you to get your head right. Climb up from whatever situation that you're in and get into the closet. Get away from people. Come out of that freeze-dried, vacuum-packed Sunday morning message. Come out of that mess. Come out of that Hebrew Israelite gathering where you're going to only learn about superficial things dealing with the flesh. Come out of all that nonsense. And I dare you to get in the closet and start talking like our father David asked the question, what is man? Who am I that you are so mindful of me? And let him show you. You see? Come on, brothers. We're going to have to raise up. We're going to have to raise up. We want to take our houses back. We want to take our positions back. It's real simple. Where your money go, your power go. When you start getting your own money, then your power stays with you. Everybody want to be chasing after money. Well, guess what? The person that got the money is the one that got the power. He going to determine whether a thing rise or whether it fall, because that's the position that the Most High give him. And you say, well, I don't know and I don't have no means. Well, you know what? While you on your way, let me drop this in your spirit. God is mindful of you, man, and he have subjected all things that he had created up under your care, man. And even though you might not have no physical money right now, you got to understand what you do have. The earth is the Lord, the fullness thereof, the whole entire world and everything in it. And he have made these things subjected to the man. Come on, brothers. Shouts out to you on this morning, Dana Severs. Come on, brothers. You're going to have to raise up. If we're going to fulfill the prophecies that was made to Abraham, we're going to have to raise up. Abraham, know for certain that your children shall be strangers in the land that is not theirs, and they shall serve them, and they shall be afflicted for 400 years. And after that, I'm going to judge those that did it. And my people shall come out with great substance. That's prophecy. That means that no longer is we going to wait on men. Micah chapter 4. Micah chapter 5 says that the remnant of Jacob shall dwell in the midst of in the midst of many peoples in the last day. He shall dwell in the midst of the Gentile. He'll dwell in the midst of many people as a dew from heaven upon the grass. And he shall dwell among the Gentiles as showers from the Lord in the earth. He shall no longer wait on men, nor tarry for the sons of men. He shall dwell in the midst of the Gentiles as a lion dwells among the beasts of the forest. He shall dwell among the people of the earth, the same way that a young lion dwelled among the sheep. And you know what that's talking about? That's talking about the responsibility that have been committed to your care to have dominion over everything. And since the whole world was ignorant of the Most High, he had birthed his son Israel into existence to have dominion over the nations and be to the nations as showers and dew upon the grass. And we no longer wait or tarry on men. No longer will we wait on people to give us a job. No longer are we going to wait and be dependent on nobody's college educational system. No longer are we going to wait on welfare and handouts. No longer are we going to be sitting around waiting on a retirement check or Social Security. We're reaching for the promise that the Most High promised us. He told Abraham that this would happen, but in the end, and if we're going to come out with great substance, we're not going to come out with great substance because they're giving it to us. It means that we got to get our minds right, understand our responsibility, get in that closet and tell the Most High, show me the gift that you have given me that is meant to be a gift to the world, because men can't show you that. And brothers more now are raising up into entrepreneurship. You say, well, I ain't got no money. I can't go and open up my business. Well, I don't care if you got to start your business in the kitchen. If you got to start cutting your hair in the kitchen. If you got to start sewing your clothes in the back room of your house. I don't care what it is that you have to do. You got to get it done. And despise not small beginnings. Shouts out to you, Judah Black. Where our brothers is raising up. We have to learn how to make our own money. Own money. And the things that God has given us is meant to be not only sustenance for our life, but also a gift to the body. So I tell my brothers and sisters that are here in Kansas City, Missouri, hey, you brothers, you know what? Hey, if y'all need a haircut, guess what? I'm about to funnel in some haircut specials. I'm going to be doing haircuts for $25. And that includes everything. That includes beard trim. That includes razor line. It includes hair out your nose, hair out your ears. $25. $25, you can come by and get a haircut. And it ain't based on money, because if you ain't got the $25, bring me what you got. And you can still get it done. Because while you're in the chair, we're going to be talking about this particular thing right here. How you can better your life, the way you can be able to pay and contribute to your brothers. And let's let these businesses start growing. We need these Arabs out of the community. We need these Arabs out of the community. We need these Chinese shops closed down, pack up, and take your restaurant back over there into your place. We ain't no longer spending no money with the Hamitic man that's selling us raggedy cars for much money. All of these different areas of life, we need to move into them. And we got to come away from these jobs. Because I guarantee you, after the next year, by the time all these people get through coming from Mexico and Guatemala and Venezuela and all these different places, you ain't going to have no job to go to work in. You're not going to have it. So let's raise up, brothers. Understand that the Most High is mindful of you. He created us a little bit lower than the angels. And he had placed everything in our care. And he instructed us to have dominion over everything. And he told Abraham a promise. He said, one of the reasons why I'm going to do it is based on the promise that I gave you. In you shall all the families of the earth come to receive a blessing. Now, how are the families of the earth going to understand the true family structure that God put in the earth unless his people learn how to exemplify that? And when we can connect with the husband and can connect with the wife, and we can connect with those gifts that the Most High have given us, and as a couple, a team, we start using those things to make our own money, we can see our marriages start to stay together, because 75% of our marriages end because of money. So y'all got to be encouraged, brothers. Y'all got to be encouraged. We have to. It's going to be imperative. If any brothers need a haircut, come on by and get one. See, I ain't cutting no grass. I ain't planting no bushes. I ain't chopping down no trees right now. It's winter time. But when that expires, guess what? You got to be able to open up another stream. Come get your haircut. Is anybody in Kansas City, Missouri? You thinking about getting married? You think about marrying the one that you love? You need some help? You ain't in church? You don't know who you're going to call? Call your brother. You need your wedding solemnized? Call you. We're going to do that. We'll solemnize your wedding. We'll marry you and give you counsel, godly counsel concerning marriage. No, people don't want to get married. That's fine. That's fine. God keep letting people die. Any brothers in Kansas City, Missouri, somebody die in your life, you ain't in church, you ain't got no pastor, you ain't got no preacher, you don't really know nobody, call your brother up. We'll eulogize them. We'll eulogize them. We'll come right in there to the funeral service. We'll pull that Bible out and we'll start spitting flames of fire of God's word to give you encouragement and to raise you up. And not only that, to show you what God requires of you as you walk away from this place, still living and still breathing. Ain't nobody dying. That means that everybody's having a good time. Okay, so you want to celebrate. Call your boy up. World-class DJs is going to come on the scene. We're going to provide the music. We're going to provide whatever it is that you need. We're going to provide the music. We're going to provide the photo booth. We're going to provide whatever it is that you need to make sure that your event is having a nice time. You need a picnic. You need a graduation day ceremony. Hey, listen, we got to open them strings up. All that God give us ain't all that we can have. We can have as much as we're willing to chase after. But I'm going to have an allergic reaction to being broke, because when a man is broke, he don't have no options. And if you ain't got no options, that means that you're stuck somewhere. If you're broke, then that means that you can't get on the bus if you ain't got a car. If you broke, that means that you can't go and buy you nothing to eat if you get hungry. That means if you're broke, when you see a brother or sister in trouble, you can't help them. Because if you don't have no money, you don't have no options. And I know somebody saying, well, money ain't everything. No, money ain't everything. But it's right up there with oxygen. And just the same way that you need air to breathe in this life that you live in this body, you're going to need some money to exist in a way that's good in this world that you're living in. And somebody said, well, I ain't graduated from high school. That's all the more reason. Because these systematic schemes that have been put in place against us declares if you ain't graduate from high school, then you automatically confined to a life of crime and poverty. That's why the penitentiary is so full. But you know one thing, the brothers that's in the penitentiary, nobody never came along and asked them that question. What is man that God is mindful? Do you know how mindful God is of you, brother? That he will put everything that he made in your care? That's how mindful God is. And sometimes only thing it takes is for us to understand that. And then we understand how important it is for us to balance our life out. For us to find the thing that's clogging up my flow. Fornication is clogging up the brother's flow. I know exactly what it is. We got hit with a spirit of lust at a young age, entered into fornication, separated ourselves from God, and now it had clogged up the flow. The water hose now got a golf ball in it. But when you understand what's clogging up your flow, you go in there and you snatch that golf ball out of there, and then you tell your sister, I'm too much man. I'm fearfully and marvelously made, created in God's image. You can't lead me into the pit of fornication that's going to disrupt my whole life. God give me authority and dominion over you. You came out of me. So it's my responsibility to put you in check and make you understand how valuable you are. You are too much woman to be lying down, just become a trash receptacle for another man's sperm. Too much man, too much woman for that. That's the responsibility that God gives brothers. You see? That's the responsibility. And just because you've fallen don't mean that you won't get back up. I had the beautiful family. I had the wife and the 4 kids and the house with the pool table in the basement. And I had all that and lost it. And hit rock bottom. But when I go in that closet and say, I made a mess out of everything, help me with myself. I didn't go in there praying about my ex-wife and praying about the circumstance. I went in there and said, Lord, help me with myself because I'm my biggest issue. I need to know how you see me. When I start seeing myself in the way that you see me, that's what's going to make me start changing my life. That's what's going to make me make better decisions. When I see myself how God sees me, brother, come on, brothers. We got to start seeing ourselves. We can't keep listening to what everybody say. Oh, they thugs. Oh, they criminals. Oh, they this. Oh, they that. See, when God said, what is thy name to Jacob? Jacob responded with what he had been hearing from all the other people. Oh, his name is Jacob. Oh, his name is Jacob. But Jacob means supplanter. And supplanter means trickster, con man, schemer, one that has larceny in his heart. And Jacob had become accustomed to hearing what people were calling him. And if you listen to what people call you, you will eventually start to walk out the life of the thing that they're calling you. And he said, what is thy name? Well, my name is Jacob. Well, I'm the trickster. I'm the schemer. I'm the con man. I'm the one who has larceny in his heart. And God said, no more shall thy name be called Jacob. Thy name shall be called Israel. He said, your name going to be of 2 parts. Israel. Because Israel is dealing with the fact that not only have you wrestled with your brother Esau, you wrestled with your uncle Laban, you wrestled with your cousins Laban's sons, and now you are out here wrestling with an angel. He said, so the first half of your name is going to be called Israel because I have given you the ability to wrestle with crack addiction, wrestle with alcoholism, wrestle with fornication, wrestle with adultery. I've given you the ability to wrestle and prevail over your circumstances. And the last half of your name is going to be El, because you need to see yourself like I see you as a prince. You have power with God and have prevailed over men. And when you see yourself as God see you, you don't see yourself as a Christian man, as a Muslim man, as an African American, as a Negro. You see yourself as Israel. I am the Prince of the Most High that's operating by his power. Who's going to stop me? Come on, brothers. We got to raise up. It don't matter where you've been. It don't matter where you've been. But you got to start with yourself. You got to start with yourself and understand that when God asked Adam, Adam, where are you? After he had fallen in the sin, he didn't ask Adam that because he didn't know where Adam was at. He asked Adam that so that Adam can come face to face with himself. Oh, I heard thy voice. Come on, brother, you got to be able to confess it. I knew what I was about to do was wrong. I heard thy voice. I knew your word. I heard your word. I heard thy voice. And I was afraid. I was afraid because I knew I was out there transgressing against you. When I heard thy voice, I knew you said don't fornicate. But I was afraid when I climbed up in that bed, something was haunting me because I knew I was afraid. And I was scared. Because I was naked. I was completely uncovered. Some brothers are saying that right now. Our brothers at the local gas stations. Our brothers out there on the street. Our brothers out there sleeping up under the bridge. Adam, where art thou? I heard thy voice. I made bad choices. And I was afraid. I was too afraid. I was too ashamed because I was naked. I was uncovered. It brought me to shame. I didn't know that I can come back to you and approach you and that you'll forgive me and set me back right. You got to know that God's willing to forgive us. He is willing that no man perish, but that all men will come to repentance, because unless we repent, we can't carry out the responsibility that he has given us in this earth. Adam, where are you? Where are you, brother? There's work to be done. Starting with the provisions that need to be made for yourself. We cannot continue to live dependent on our sisters. I cannot continue to live driving my sister's car, living in my sister's house. I cannot continue to live like that, eating my sister's food. I cannot be the man that God means for me to be in that manner. I have to get my hand around the throat of whatever it is that's coming against my blessing and clogging up my flow. If I got to tell my sister, my flow is clogged up, I can't depend on, I can't be the man I'm supposed to be when I'm not paying the bills, when I'm not responsible for the insurance, when I'm not taking care of the children. I can't be the man that I'm supposed to be. I got to get up and I got to walk away. It don't mean that I don't love you, but I love you. It don't mean that I don't love you, but I got to get myself in order so that I can be the man that you desire to be with. I don't want to be the man that causes you to complain. I don't want to be that man that causes other people to think that you hooked up with a worthless man. I don't want to be that kind of man. In my heart, I'm good, but I ain't got nothing going on in my life, and I don't know where to start. Well, brother, I'm telling you where to start. Get in the closet, and whatsoever thing you pray, whatsoever thing you desire, when you pray to the Father about it, you believe that you'll receive it, and you shall have it. But you got to come face to face with yourself. You're bad, brothers. You're bad. You're bad. You say you're selling dope, and you think that that's how God see you when you're supposed to be loving your brothers and loving your sisters? Oh, I ain't judging nobody. Because, see, everything that I'm saying is born out of my personal experiences. I have been the man in this condition, and I have tried it, and that's how I know it works. So when we did the video yesterday, the video where the music was saying, try it, you got to try it and see if it works. It's up to us, man. Because if we don't do something, man, we're being destroyed. When you look at Instagram, our young sisters is off the chain. They're off the chain. They don't want to hear about nothing but money. Where your money go, your power goes. You know why our sisters have so much power? Because they holding on to their money. They're taking their money and they're doing things with it to better their lives. And when they got that money, they got the power to say, no, I don't need no man. I got money. But that's not true. You see, money for a sister is different from money for a man. When a man gets money, he gets his power, his decision making, his authoritative power back in the earth. But when sisters get money, it is a form of deception, because it causes you to think that money gives you the authority that a man has. But the authority that a man has didn't come from money. The authority that a man has came from God himself. Now, you look at that. You look at this, and just a life example, purely out of humility, no pride. I'm not rich. I'm nowhere near rich. I don't even have money in the bank saved up. Oh, I got enough money to make sure that my life don't fall into no bad place. You know what I'm saying? Somebody come along and smack my car, smack my wife's car and tear it up. Oh, I got money. I can go get another one. You see? And I don't have the type of money like, if my house burned down and I don't have no insurance, I can't go and build another one. I don't have money like that. But I tell you one thing. The Bible calls them streams. This is what the streams. Streams is a gifted area that God gives you, that you get good at. And some of you are good, man. Some of you brothers, you can go out, you can fix cars and everything. But you ain't got no garage. And you ain't got the credentials from the educational standpoint to be able to go in nobody's garage and make the type of money that you need to make. But you can fix a car. You got it. See, when you start operating in the area that you're good at, then you'll make money. And because you're good, that means that that's going to be a continuous flow of money. But every so often, the weather might change. It might get brutally cold, and you ain't inside where you can't do no mechanic work. So while you making that money, God give you more vision to open up another stream. And bam, when I can't do this, I'll do this. When I can't do this, I'll do that. You see? I got so much stuff around here. Boy, I'm going to sell something. I'm going to do something. I'm not going in a house without making no money. And some days I may go in a house without making money, but you best believe I'm coming back with an empty bag with no bullets, because I'm going out there with a cock-loaded gun and I'm shooting at everything that's moving by. Sometime I'm going to hit everything that's moving and come back with a full bag. Sometime I'm going to miss everything that I'm shooting at and come back with an empty bag but no bullets. But I can feel good about the fact that I was out there trying to get it done. So, brothers, we're going to have to. And we can get it done. Let me share something else with you. Let me share something else with you. Watch this, brothers. Watch this, brothers. Watch this. It's these scriptures. It's these scriptures that have restructured my thinking. And if they'll restructure my thinking and many other people's thinking, they can do the same thing for you. Listen to this. For a dream comes through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by the multitude of words. When you make a vow unto God, defer not to pay it, for he have no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. Now, when we start dealing with things like entrepreneurship and making your own money, you see, when you make your own money, I'm telling you, you can be as ugly as Wesley Snipes. Now, I don't say that demeanor Wesley Snipes, but in my book, man, when Wesley Snipes first came on the scene, Wesley Snipes was a black, ugly little joker. But when you start making money, you can dress over top of that. And that same black little ugly joker that I once said was a little black ugly joker, shit. I eventually got to the point to where I started saying, damn, Wesley Snipes, that nigga kind of handsome. You know what I'm saying? A dream comes through the multitude of doing business. Still getting that little cold out of me. What that means is that, brothers, when you start doing your business, when you start working on whatever it is, no matter how minute or how small other people may think it is, when you start working on that, right in the midst of while you working on it, right in the midst of while you cutting that hair in the kitchen, right in the midst while you outside with cold hands, putting them little screws on the car, right when you in the midst of out there cutting somebody's grass with a push lawnmower, because you can't despise small beginnings. And there's many ways to make money. But the thing about us as a people, we want to start our business with everything that other people got. Some people that already had money that they could buy the stuff, and then some people who have been working for years and accumulated the stuff. But when we want to start our business, we think that we're supposed to have the best stuff and the same stuff that other people got. That don't work like that. He said, when you take that lawnmower, such as my case, when you take that, I started with a weed eater. And listen, I don't say this because, like I said, I don't have no money like that. I'm not no wealthy dude, so I'm not making it like I done blew up into millionaire status. No, heck no. And what I'm talking about being able to take care and assume the responsibility for yourself and for your wife and for your children. That's what I'm talking about. Being able to pay my rent, my lights, my gas, my water, my car payment if I have one. Being able to keep food in my icebox. You see? Some people don't have no problem with that. That's minute because some people have large amounts of money. But we're not talking about that. Many of the brothers do not. And we have to climb up. That don't mean that we can't get that type of money. Because, man, I'm telling you, honest to God, too, man, money ain't everything to me. But I'm hustling every day. And I'm saying like Kanye West, wait till I get my money right. Wait till I get my money right. If y'all see me be loving and caring and concerned about the well-being of brothers and sisters, wait till I get my money right. You ain't seen nothing when I get my money right. If y'all think that y'all done seen me wrap my arms around Sweetie Pie and love on her and do this, wait till I get my money right. I was going to the next level. So a dream comes through the multitude of business. So I started with a weed eater. I used to work for the Kansas City, Missouri School District just like many of you guys work. You see, let's just keep this on the lower level. We'll keep this on the lower level. We in the hood. I'm talking to brothers in the hood. I'm not talking to nobody that been to college, that got a degree. I'm not talking to none of them. I'm talking to brothers in the hood. I had to take a job with the Kansas City, Missouri School District. After my initial gifted area of doing hair, I suffered some setbacks when I lost my business. And I had to do whatever it took to take care of my family. I started working at the school district, and I worked 3 hours a day, washing the tables and looking after people's bad kids during their lunch hour. Well, eventually that turned into a job of being a custodian. Now, where I used to have people cleaning up my stuff, now I'm in here cleaning up the schools, but I keep a good attitude about it. I'm frustrated because I'm out of my element. Nevertheless, we had to do it. I eventually end up on the landscaping department, where I learned how to do landscaping and stuff like that. When that job expired, because the job will expire on you at any given moment, more now in this season than ever before, you can come home, go to work feeling good, and come home without a job and be stuck. And when I seen it coming, I said, I need to learn everything that I need to learn how to do. So if you own a job, you need to learn everything that you need to know about that job you're doing, and you need to become skilled at it. I'm talking about skilled at it to the point to where you can branch off. And where you work at 8 hours a day, now you can branch out and say, I'm going to take 4 hours. I'm going to take 4 hours. It's going to be like working a part-time job. The only thing is going to be me working a part-time job for myself. I'm operating in the same thing that I'm doing at work, and I done got good at it, and people need it, and so I can funnel that, and I can make me extra money, and the extra money can start moving me into other areas, because many people on job have great visions. You know why? Because this scripture right here tells us that we have great visions. It says in a dream comes through the multitude of doing business. So in my case, when my job expired and they downsized everything and they contracted everything out, them brothers was in trouble. They was in trouble. Many of them didn't know what to do, where they was going to get another job at. You know what I'm saying? Some of them just said flat out went and retired. You know what I'm saying? But I said, no, I'm going to learn everything that I need to learn, and I'm going to look at this as like me learning a trade. So I started with a weed eater. I didn't have no money. The job wasn't giving me enough money to be able to do nothing extra to fuel my vision. I started with a weed eater, and I would cut down a whole forest with that weed eater. I cut somebody's grass with that weed eater. But while I was in the midst of doing that, I'd get this grand idea. You know what, man? If I had a lawnmower, it'd be so much better. I can cut that grass real nice, and then I can come back and I can edge it up with the weed eater and I wouldn't have to do everything with a weed eater. So guess what? The little money I start making, I bought me a lawnmower. And so what you doing? I'm out there pushing that lawnmower. Some people's grass is high. But this is extra money. You're going to work for them for 8 hours. You're getting off. Throw your lawnmower in the truck, in the car. Throw your weed eater in there. And then you're going out to work. Some people used to have some tough yards, man. Sometimes that grass ain't been cut. But this is my extra money. If I can do it for them for 8 hours, I'd be able to do it for myself. After all, I'm going to get the money. And I'm going to make more than what they giving me in an hourly wage. But boy, a regular push lawnmower, then sometimes you got to go up hills. And I had the brightest idea. Oh, man, if I had a self-propelled mower, it'd sure be easier. The money I was making, get enough money, self-propelled mower. It makes the job easier. And now I can do more. But it's the same thing. Self-propelled mower, self-propelled mower. You out there, you working, you sweating. It's 90 degrees outside, and you have the brightest idea. But that's because when you are busy doing business, God gives you visions that will cause your business to be enhanced. This is how businesses grow. But if you're not doing nothing, why would God give a dream or a vision if you ain't doing nothing? And I remember I was cutting my mother-in-law's yard, and she got some of the thickest grass in the world. And I had that self-propelled mower, and every 2 or 3 feet, that mower was bogging down. And I had the brightest idea again. Man, boy, just think. If I had a riding lawnmower, if I had one of them zero turn, I knew how to work all of the equipment because that's the work that I was doing every day. But zero turn, the even smallest one, cost over about $3,500. I didn't have that kind of money. I didn't even have enough money to make sure that my bills was covered by the time I got a paycheck. I'm paying child support. I'm paying retirement. I'm paying insurance. By the time I get my check, I don't even have enough to cover the bills. So the extra money. In the multitude of doing business, dreams come. Then next move, I end up with a zero-turn lawnmower. Now I'm still working for the school district. And the brothers that's working for the school district, they see what I'm doing. And I took on the identity of what the Bible called the unjust steward. The unjust steward. You know who the unjust steward was, brothers? The unjust steward was a guy who was working for a company, and then he got wind and he heard that he was going to be fired from the company. And he said, man, I can't work, I can't dig, and I'm too proud to beg. I don't know how to do nothing. How am I going to survive? So he had a bright idea. He said, you know what? I'll call all of the people that owe the company money. He said, how much money you owe the company? I owe the company $500. Let's cut it in half. You pay me $250 and your debt is clear. How much you owe the company? Oh, I owe the company $5,000. Let's cut it in half. Give me $2,500. Your debt is clear. So the unjust steward, what he did is he made alliances with people as they cleared their debt out. That when he got in trouble, he could have some sustenance. So I did the same thing. I became the unjust steward. Hey, I know they're going to fire everybody. Y'all see them firing people. Y'all see them bringing these contractors in. They ain't caring about us, the employees. Y'all see that. Anything anybody come up with, I'll take it. And I end up with something over here, something over there, something over here, something over there. When the job finally ended, I had everything I need. I start pulling up at work with my truck and my trailer and my lawnmower, my riding lawnmower on there, and my leaf blowers and everything. Because when I start making money, I was investing my money back into that so that I can open up this stream and be able to produce a living for myself. It was a step-by-step process. So the scripture says that in the multitude of doing business, God gives us dreams and visions on how we may enhance the thing that's being done. You see? And even when you got there, the dreams never stop coming, because you say, well, dang, man, I start getting people that had dang on, hey, can you cut this field? And the field is the size of a baseball field, a football field. And I'm like, man, this is going to kill my little lawnmower. But I'll be doing them nice big houses and stuff like that. And in my mind, man, if I had one of them heavy duty equipment, machineries like we use at the job, boy, I'll be gone. And lo and behold, next thing you know, bow, here comes the 52-inch Grandstand Toro that I can go and tear through any field and cut properties off the side of the highway. It don't stop there. Because whatever it is that you need while you're doing your business, that's where God bring the dream at. And whatever dream he do, you capitalize on it by investing what you make it in that, and your business keeps growing. Before you know it, you ain't even got no room for nothing else. Now, I just used that as an example. But brothers got to understand what you got to work with. You got to work with, you got to have a starting point somewhere, because you're going to have to learn how to make your own money. And if we don't do that, I'll have some of the strangest things. See, because I never deal with people from the standpoint of funerals and stuff that had to do with the work. I never viewed that as no work or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is that even though you can't charge nobody for God's goodness, The Most High allow people to do good to you because you are investing time and you're investing energy. The same time and energy you're investing to go to somebody's job or to do some work, you are investing that same amount of time and energy into people when it comes to some of these other things. You see? And even though I would do it and go do a funeral, you know what I'm saying? And that's my service to the Most High and help lift my brothers and sisters up. Something would always come back at me. It's like it'll be a stream that open up. And somebody will give me an envelope. It might have $100 in it. And I was like, you ain't got it. And they's like, no, take it. You see? Now, different. If I go do a wedding or something like that. So I didn't even really think about that. But I said, well, hold on, wait a minute. This is another stream. Because there's people out here getting married all the time. And a lot of times people getting married, they ain't even going to church or nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it gives you the opportunity to open up another stream, you know? So I'm telling you, brothers, is that when we want to see our women get back where they supposed to be, we're going to need to have our money. Because where a man's money go, his power go. And if you want to see one thing that'll tear a house up, it is money. It is money. It will tear a house up. Because one of the things that many of our sisters don't understand is that they have been given more rights than the average man when it comes to them being able to make money. And it's like that by design. And that's why the money becomes a god to many sisters. And the money is become the drive and motivating factor of whether or not I'm going to deal with this man or whether I'm not going to deal with this man. And they also, you allow the money to make them to be the determining factor on what kind of man that they gonna get. He got to be making at least. He got to be making at least double what I'm making. You know what? That's a sister that's gonna end up by her damn self. Because she's in a dream world. She's in a dream world because she's not looking at the average. She's looking at something that's above average, something that don't happen consistently. The average men go to work every day and work jobs where they make 30, maybe 30, 25,000, some 20,000. And these are the men that can't seem to get a sister because she wants you to have more. You see? And that's why we got so many sisters that's growing old by themselves. It ain't because men are so bad. It's because they have lofty expectations. Lofty expectations. How are you going to determine a man's worth by how much money he made when God have committed the whole world into his care? When God have made them to have dominion over everything? How are you going to put a value sticker on a man with money when God give him the authority over the things that creep, over the things that walk on the earth? God give him authority over this whole world. I want a high value man. I want a high value man. Really? What a high value man is in the eyes of many of the sisters is a man that's got status. A man it ain't even a man that done been to college no more. Because the men that go to college now come home making somehow $30,000, $40,000 a year. They want a high value man. They think they're going to get a football player. And then you're going to get a high value man. And you think that he going to come and swoop you up, take care of you and your children, and then put up with all of your nonsense. That ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen either. So many sisters are going to end up by themselves if they don't redirect their mindset and see themselves as God sees them. It's women and men because we one functional unit. We're not no two parts. But we're just talking to the brothers right now. Because we're making the brothers understand. You want to see your woman get in check? I know that sound hard, but you want to see your woman get in check. You start making your own money. You start making your own money. Now, I'm a man like any other man, went through a bad divorce, was on the ground and everything, got my wife. But when I got my wife, I told her what Trey Songz said, baby. All I got is $1 in a dream. You gonna go with me? Now, I can get us out the hood and have us living good. You feel me? He said, now, I done tried a 9 to 5, but that just don't fit me. So don't put pressure on me about no regular guy job. I don't come from that. You see? And sometimes it takes a woman to trust God to trust a man. And when a woman put her trust in a man that is not all together yet, that's what causes him to be together. Because he got you. You see? He got you. When I met my wife, I had my business flowing. She had her job and her little stuff, and we hooked up. And out of nowhere, a tornado came and blew everything away. Everything. We lost houses, cars, everything. But the one thing I had going for me is I didn't lose her in the process. You see? Oh yeah, her mind wasn't all the way right. But she made me understand how important money is. You got me living like a crackhead. Can you imagine what saying something like that can do to a man's ego, to his pride? I'm doing the best that I can, and they out there cutting the gas off, and then you got me living like a crackhead. My gas ain't never been cut off. Can you imagine what that does to a man? So let me show you something, brothers, about your sister when that happened. You have to understand is that I was so hurt, and I said, man, I ain't never been this man. You don't talk to me like that, no, any kind of way. That's what happened when you have to depend on a woman. Sometimes God put us there so he can show us something, okay? So what the Most High showed me when he sat me down is that he said, listen, he said, I created your sister as the help. And when you understand how valuable the help is, you'll understand that no matter what she do, she will be helping you. If she's massaging you on the back and whispering sweet nothings in your ear, she will be helping you. But if she's screaming at the top of her lungs and cussing you out and calling you everything under the sun, she will also be helping you too. One form of help comes in encouragement. The other form of help comes and humiliates you. And humiliation is one of the greatest character builders you're ever going to find. Because in the midst of that humiliation, you saying to yourself, I'm going to get out of this. You ain't never going to talk to me like that again. I'm going to shine like new money. You wait till I get my money right. This is real life, man, not this foolishness. We ain't got no Bible out. We use a scripture here and there, but we talking real life. You got to be able to open up them streams, baby. A man's gift make room for him. And God has given everybody, every man, something that's designed to produce a living. Shouts out to you, Twidwear. That's Twidwear Clothing Company. That's my brother BB. That's on the line. We're conversating this morning about this same thing right here. You see, BB is doing what you said, the elder. I know I ain't say got it all right. I said don't despise small beginners, BB. I don't care if you got to get in there and get you a needle and thread out. It take you 2 hours to sew them fringes on. You know what I mean? You got to do what you got to do. Because after you do that 3 or 4 times, you'll have money for a sewing machine. And once you get your sewing machine and you start sewing, and then your mind, here comes another vision. Ooh, man, I got a backlog of orders. Ooh, wait till the Most High bless me with a small back room space where I can let my stuff stack up. See, it don't happen overnight. It's process. It's little bit by little bit by little bit by little bit. But it have to be done. And we can't make excuses because God has given everybody something to work with. The kingdom of heaven is like a landowner that left and then called his servants and put them in charge of his merchandise. To one man, he gave one gift. To another man, he gave 2 gifts. To another man, he gave 5 gifts. And the gifts represent money, and I'll tell you why they represent money. The gifts that we operate by in our life are supposed to bring money into our life. He said, and when the landowner came back, he came, and the one that had 5, he said, look, I have 5. You left me with 5. I put them out there, and I turned them into 10. He said, well done, good and faithful servant. The one that had 2, he said, I took what you gave me, and I went out in the world and I worked it, and I got 4. Well done, good and faithful servant. He went to the one that had 1. Well, I knew that thou was a hard man, and that you reap where you did not sow, and I didn't want to take no chances, so I just went and hid the talent in the earth. I lived my life as though it wasn't there. Everybody around me knew I was good at it, but you know what? I was too lazy to go in. You wicked and lazy servant. You ought to have put my money to the exchangers. God is about profit. When he tells a man to be fruitful and multiply, he's telling a man to be profitable. Go turn a profit. When I give you something, you go and turn a profit by exchanging it amongst the people in the world. Whatever I tell you, whatever I give you, you multiply it. Whatever you know, you teach somebody else how to do it. And now there's 2 or 3 that know how to do it. Whatever it is. Multiply and be fruitful means to be profitable. He said, you ought to put my money to the exchangers. This is business. This is business. This is the one area of our life that we have completely fallen down in. And now it's destroying us. Put the money in the sister's hands and watch what happened to it. She gonna drive up in a Bentley. She gonna be in a beauty shop every week. She'll spend all the money on eyelashes and give all the money back to the Asian people and everything she do. She gonna give all the money to the restaurants and taking trips and all that high sign. Ain't turning no profit at all. Men are not to operate like that. We are supposed to be responsible for our women. But how you going to have influence over your own woman when you can't even come through the door with a sack of groceries? How you going to have influence over your own woman when she got to go to work, go and buy the food, go and cook the food, get in her car, drive the food home, when she got to pay the lights, pay the gas, pay the water, pay the rent, she got to pay the car note, she got to pay for the insurance, she got to be responsible for taking the children back and forth to school. And where's your influence going to come from? And you sitting around playing video games all day, hiding the talent that God had given you because you're too lazy to go and do anything. See? But brothers, we better than that. And in the days to come, we're going to deal with these family issues. We're going to deal with the relationship between men and women. And that's what it is. And you know what? Twin Ware, if you're still on the line, put a 7 on there. I want to see something. I'll watch this here. I don't know. Twin might just been tiptoeing by. Anybody on the line, put a 7 in there. If it's anybody that's on this line, on this thread with me, just put a 7 in there so I can know that you're there. And see, what I'm going to say is that people, when they hear videos like this, they don't want it. They leave. I can do a video and I can see people lined up from one end of the phone all across to the other end of the phone. And sometimes I don't see nobody there. You see? Because when it comes down to us dealing with real life issues, we run from that. We have to understand that when God sees us, he don't see 2 people. He see one dysfunctional man. And we trying to get our brothers to understand. We know that it's hard. We know the systematic schemes that have been set up from not employing us through education. We don't have the education. We don't have the college. We understand the systematic schemes of our brothers that have been to jail, and they have served their time and paid their debt to society, yet they still got a felony stamped on them, to where even though what was the purpose for me going to jail? What's the purpose for me paying my debt to society if I was still going to be a captive out here because you got a felony on my record? When I paid my debt, you should remove that. I should become as though I never did it. But it's not like that with us. And I know there's many things that stop us from being able to do it. And then when we do get a job, it got to be a rinky-dink job, McDonald's, Popeye's chicken, or something of that nature, the local gas station. And I'm not knocking those things, because something is better than nothing. But I understand that this is what's been left to us. And that's why it's going to be so important that we find a way to ask God, show me what I'm good at. Show me what I'm good at. And then teach me how to sharpen my craft up, where I can begin to make money. God can't lie. And he said a man's gift make room for him. You see? Our sisters don't have no direction. Oh, they think they got direction. They think they got direction. But let me tell you something, baby. If you cut the head off, the body will die all by itself. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with country living or anything like that, but when they would take and chop a chicken's head off, that chicken would run all over the yard. He would run all over the yard, stumbling and falling and tripping over everything. And that's what our sisters are doing right now. And if you're a sister, you got to be able to identify with the fact that you ain't got no head. You ain't nowhere in the world that you can be seeing yourself like God see you. There's no way possible. And you think that you're doing good. Well, if that be the case, let's look at the family. Let's look at the generation of children that's out here. Let's look at the generation. And no, we ain't just putting all the blame on you. But the reality is you the one that's raising them. Because you don't want to have nothing to do with the man because of the condition that he is in. He might be broke. He might be on drugs. He might be on alcohol. He might be in a bad place in his life. But he's still a father. He still have a natural God-given right to become an instructor of his children. And you have allowed status, so-called status in this world to stop that. Stop that man from flowing like that. And you get comfortable. Well, I'm a strong black woman. I'm a single mama. I'm a this and that. And you fool yourself. You nurse yourself into some type of vain ideology that somehow or another you're a little bit better. But remember, you are a body running around with no head.